Hello, everyone. So, this is our new podcast. Me and my brother will be running this podcast weekly. We will have ChatGPT next to us to basically listen to us, sometimes interrupt or ask questions or even answer to questions as a professional. As you know, he's capable of doing that, and as he has access to a wide range of information. So just to start with a quick introduction, I'll let my brother introduce himself and then I will introduce myself and then we will keep the ball rolling.
So, hi guys, I'm David, currently 19 years old and living in Warsaw with my family. I came here from Austria. Originally, we are both from Armenia, and then our lives, I think, took a kind of dynamic turn when my brother came to Poland and me with my parents moved to Austria with 8 years old. Lived there 10 years, went to school there, finished school, and decided to go with the tracks of my brother and came also to Warsaw to study over here in the Warsaw Economic School. And yeah, so currently I'm a student, but looking forward for my entrepreneurial future, hopefully with my brother. And currently also on the track to becoming kind of, I don't want to say influencer, but just socially active with gym videos and stuff. We will link our Instagram pages both in the description below, so you can visit, follow us on our little journey. So yeah.
Great, sounds good. So back to me, my name is Ant. Our family name is Gevorgyan. As my brother mentioned, we are originally from Armenia. I moved from Armenia when I was 17 years old, came to Poland for my bachelor degree actually here in Poland. I was majoring in finance and accounting, and I'm also working in that sphere, but as a side hustle, as my brother said, we are doing some kind of social media activities as well as the podcast, which you are watching right now. So this will be our kind of journey to enter into the entrepreneurial world, hopefully with bringing value to you, especially that will be for our first goal, but also to share our lifestyle, our mindset, our travel experiences, and help you guys to apply those to your lives and make it better. So my background is basically, as I said, in finance, but I also did karate for about 10 years. I was 5 times champion of Armenia and also once champion of the world when I was 12 years old. And I also was one of the youngest kids to become actually one who owns the black belt. I was 8 years old back then. And I believe that kind of martial arts experience gave us also the discipline, because my brother also has the martial art background, which he will talk about, which gives us the discipline to actually continue applying that in our lives, whether that will be gym, whether that will be the work ethic in whether studying or whether doing the daily jobs or work or bringing it to the entrepreneur world. So we will be trying to cover all those aspects, especially keeping the focus on the discipline and motivation that we have to bring our lives to become the best version of ourselves and then monetize that basically to become financially free. Yeah.
That's the goal.
So do you want to share your experience with the martial arts as well, just to give some background?
Yeah, so it's kind of an interesting story with me because I've always been like a troublemaker in school. And there were always like the complaints of the teachers in every school that I went to, starting with Armenia and then in Austria it was the same. It was always the teachers saying to my parents, like, your kid is smart, but he's a troublemaker, so he can't sit and learn without doing something else. So my parents thought about what they could do with me, and they sent me to, well, it was Kung Fu. Since that was also not enough, they also sent me to play ice hockey. Well, it was kind of also my decision because it really interested me, like the aggressive style of playing. It was like aggressive type of football, and that really shaped or also a personality. So it wasn't really only just doing sports to stay fit. It was also kind of personality shaping and made me the personality that I have now, also like the relaxed style and stuff. My brother knows it well.
Yeah, that's also a good point. And our difference is that I'm as an older brother, probably I'm more like on the calm side. I'm more of an introvert guy, trying to put the hard work in and doing everything to try to achieve the goals. Of course, he has that as well, especially now when we are doing it together, especially in gym or even in different aspects of our lives. He's pushing it. He's trying to achieve it, but initially I was more of the calm and like the serious guy, and he was the troublemaker, as he mentioned. But I think over time, as he grows, I think that also keeps changing. Maybe you can provide some further details there. Yeah, maybe we can cover the passions that we have. As you mentioned, we are in Poland now. Gym probably is one of our main passions. We keep pushing each other. It's almost like a daily activity for us. We are in the gym every day, probably one of
It's
the
a part
most.
of a day of the day.
Yeah,
already.
exactly. So without it, we just can't imagine our lives at the moment. And the good thing, actually, I was training separately when I was in Poland. He was training where he was in Austria, and we were training separately. But you can definitely feel the difference when we are training now together in Poland, because we just keep pushing each other. Like training separately, it's fine. You still can have some benefits in terms of like being alone and having your own thoughts and focusing on yourself, but then having the possibility or the ability to train together, we are just pushing each other basically, even if it's like kind of biting each other a bit, showing that we can do more than the other. It's still very beneficial for both of us because we can see our bodies transforming in a massive way, which I haven't noticed for like training for past 10 years. I'm probably in my best shape right now, and that's partially, of course, also thanks to my brother because he's pushing me. He's trying to reach me in terms of the weights that we lift, in terms of the power, intensity of the workouts. And I'm pushing him basically by trying to keep that bar always high so that he needs to push himself to come to that level. Yeah.
What I also wanted to mention, because it's I think a really important part, it's not only gym. I think in most spheres in life at the moment, you have to have some kind of a team. It's really hard to achieve anything in life like alone. So I think the best option for this is always like for a team, it's always brother or generally family. But if you also have friends, of course, with friends which just trust, you can also achieve these things. But just looking like at the biggest influencers or biggest people who can change really something in the world at the moment, taking the Tate brothers, of course, as the first example, the Paul brothers, it's always like a team of people. It's never that somebody achieved these big things alone. That also inspires us to work together as a team and to achieve everything together. It makes a lot of things much easier. As my brother said, just like pushing, if you're only with your mind, you don't want to do more than you have to. But when you have the feeling that you're also like staying behind or kind of responsible that you guys don't achieve anything in a team, that's when like really you take responsibility and work much more productively than before.
Exactly. Yeah, well, very well said actually. Apart from that, we are also big fans of traveling, which we are planning to cover also in our podcast sessions. We covered most of Europe. I covered large part of Asia. I think my brother also covered the Middle East area quite a lot. Part of Africa as well, and small part of the Western world in terms of Americas. So we'll be speaking about that, sharing our experiences. I think both of us is like based on the application that we have where we tick the maps. That's another competitive
That's also
area.
a challenge.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. For us, we try to push each other in terms of the numbers. And we are, I think, around top 10% if we believe to that application.
Like seeing the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. In terms of how many countries we have been. Yeah, and in terms of why we are starting the podcast, we believe that in current generation, it is like the kids that we are seeing, they kind of are lost. They don't know what they want to do with their lives. They are just scrolling the social media mindlessly. They are drinking, smoking, without having proper goals for their lives. So they are kind of wasting their lives. So our goal is to provide our mindset, provide our lifestyle, the discipline and motivation, so that others, the kids, or even older generation, the adults who are seeking their goals, who are trying to find the meaning of their lives, will listen to us and will find something meaningful and valuable for them as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and mostly it's just about getting started with something. It's the same for our podcast, for example. It hasn't been a topic for like years for us. It's just like it came as an idea from my brother, and we were like, heck yeah, let's start it. Why think about it, trying to achieve perfection? You're just gonna take it and start, and then you can try to get to perfection when time flows.
Exactly. There is no best time, as my brother mentioned. You just have to start. You fail, you try again, you try better, you change something, and then at some point you will be awesome, right? Yeah, it's just doing it, because both of us, I think, we are not a big fan of reading, learning too much. I think the best way to learn, at least my experience was, is by doing.
Yeah.
So just keep doing, tweak the things that you feel are not working, and then eventually you will be successful, man. There is no way that you put the effort, you put the hard work, you put the volumes, and you don't become successful. Similar to the gym, right?
Of
So
course.
we are basically bringing that mindset to the other areas of our lives.
I have the feeling that gym is also like life in its own ways, because you just take a gym into account, you don't see results, and by doing it like for a month, suddenly you see some changes and then you get motivated.
And I think why gym is the best place to start, because I heard and I told that quote to you as well, one of the influencers speaking about that the gym is the only place where you see the results and you see what you can achieve basically by looking at you in the mirror after the gym session, where you
Yeah.
have the pump and you know that this is something that you can achieve, and that's direct feedback, right?
Yeah.
Which is a great place to start, because it motivates you, because you see the pump. Next day that pump went away, but you still remember that, and you push and you give more effort, because you know what you can achieve and what you can become. And then you take that mindset and bring it to the other areas of your life. Yeah.
And of course, we also want to hear your guys' feedback, so we also know what you guys expect from us. So we are open to reading all of your comments. And also a good point, I think most of you guys will probably have a question in their mind. Why should we listen to you guys and not to successful guys like Andrew Tate, Iman Gaji? The answer to that question is these people are just on such a level that when you are starting from zero and trying to achieve like level 100, it's much harder than if you just follow the footsteps of people who are also on that journey to achieving those things, but are not at the top, but in the middle. So we can also work together to achieve that point.
Very well said. And we want with that to build a community of people that will help each other, right? As my brother said, we will keep monitoring the comment sessions, we will answer to your direct messages. And what we want to do with that is to build a community of people and like-minded people who can share and help each other to achieve the goals and to become the best versions of themselves. Yeah. What was the turning point in your life actually that you decided, okay, I'm changing my life? Because being 19 years old, most of the people are just mindlessly, they don't know what they want from life, they don't know what they're doing, and they just go with the flow, right? But you, for your age, you are quite like older, right, in terms of your behavior, your mindset. So what was that turning point that helped you to become the version that you are right now?
I think the turning point was actually not so long ago, like until 16 years old, 17 years old. It was like kind of the life was just flowing. There wasn't really any goals. It was just like not trying to really achieve anything. And then when you start to recognize that people who are 19, 20, 21, or even younger have like such crazy trips, crazy cars, crazy lifestyle, and you're like thinking, wait a minute, what do they know, what I don't know? I also want to do these things. I also want to achieve these things as soon as possible, because when you're like 40 and a millionaire, it's not the same as if you are young and a millionaire. The social media had actually a big impact in the decision to make something out of our lives, because when you see other people are doing it, I also want to do it, you know. And it's not just like a wish, it's more like a goal.
And that's actually is a very good mindset, because most of the people, I believe, while watching the social media, they become jealous, they become
they envy
like
these people.
demotivated rather than motivated to do stuff. And I think we can cover how to turn that jealousy into a motivation, or turn that anger into a discipline that will help you to achieve the same lifestyle that others have. Right? For me, I think the turning point was when I was somewhere around my 20s, and I was again scrolling through the social media, and I came across with a post saying like, what is the meaning of your life? What are the goals you are trying to achieve in your lives? And then I stopped the moment and I asked myself the question, like, what is my goal? And believe me or not, I spent 6 months trying to identify what is my goal, what I'm trying to achieve in this life, like what is the meaning of life for me. Because a man, in my opinion, without a proper goal or an end point, like what are you going to achieve? What is your end destination? Like when you go to the car, you know where you are driving, right? You know what is your end destination, and you know how to drive there, whether that will be with the navigator or you know the direction how to drive. But if you don't have that destination, you will just mindlessly drive through the city, and you will never achieve anywhere, right? You will not reach your destination. And I think that was the turning point for me to say, okay, I am in a journey right now for the next 6 months. I need to understand what is my goal, what I'm working for, what lifestyle I want to have. When I was traveling to France, I was walking in the port where there were different yachts, and I just looked at the yachts. I asked myself, like, why I shouldn't own one. This is a lifestyle I want to have. Actually, I want to own a yacht, and that goal is so far away at that point. They say aim for the moon and you will reach the stars. That was something for me, actually. Keep your goal like very high standard, try to do everything, work hard to achieve that. And even if you don't reach that goal, you will still be way better than before. So that was my turning point. And after that, goal after goal, I even have a folder in my phone which I always keep looking at every morning to manifest it. I just have like entire my life, all the goals, one after the other, and I already keep 5 of them or 6 of them, and I just keep continuing to work one goal after the other. Because I believe the life without goals is just a meaningful life.
But I also think it's important to mention that there are like long-term goals, which are like, as my brother said, really high set goals, like a yacht or a private jet or whatever your goal is. But it's also important to have like short-term steps or goals, so you don't get demotivated when you don't see the results. So it's also
Well said.
important to set like goals for a month. What are you going to achieve in a month? What are you going to achieve in a year? And in the end, you will achieve your biggest goal.
Okay, so with that said, we don't want to keep you too long, guys, with the introduction video. We will be posting every week, as we mentioned before. We will try to invite some professionals in the industries, whether that will be fitness, traveling. Of course, ChatGPT will be there to also help us in terms of questions or maybe some professional insights that he can share.
Thank you for listening, guys. Stick with us, stick with our journey. Yeah.
Yeah, and don't forget to follow and subscribe to our channel, also our social media accounts. And if you have anything, just reach out to us. We will try to answer all your questions, guys. As we said, this is a community, so we will try to help each other to achieve our goals. With that said, stay disciplined.
Peace, guys.
Peace.